President Donald Trump's economic approval has fallen further than his overall job approval, a reversal from the economic strength that got him elected. That's according to the Center Square's latest Voters' Voice poll. The poll of more than 2,000 registered voters found 37% approve of how Trump's handling the economy, while 60% disapprove. That's a net of negative 23 points. And it wasn't the only question about the handling of the economy and overall job performance. Asking that question about overall job approval, 40% of respondents approve of the president's job, 58 disapprove. That's a net of negative 18 points. Now, Phil Magnus, a senior fellow at the Independent Institute who specializes in political economy and economic history, told the Center Square the gap between Trump's overall and economic approval is unusual for his political career. The gap marks a reversal from Trump's first term, when his economic approval consistently ran higher than his overall job approval. A White House spokesman tells the Center Square the administration views the economic disruption as temporary and describes its economic agenda as proven. Here's the quote. The administration has never lost focus, however, on implementing the president's proven economic agenda on the home front. As these policies continue taking effect and as the Iranian terror threat is neutralized, the spokesperson said, Americans will again see cooling inflation, gas prices at multi-year lows, and accelerated economic growth. Now, in other Voters' Voice poll findings, Republican voters are more likely to identify themselves as supporters of the party itself rather than supporters of President Trump. The poll found 56% of Republican voters said that they identify with the Republican Party, whereas 35% of voters identify themselves as supporters of Trump. Now, loyalty to Trump's been tested throughout the past 2 months as voters head to the polls in key primary states across the country. In Georgia, Trump-backed U.S. Senate candidate Mike Collins won in a runoff primary against football coach Derek Dooley. However, Burt Jones, a candidate for Georgia governor who Trump endorsed, lost his primary runoff against billionaire Rick Jackson. Poll data showing younger voters were more likely to support the Republican Party over Trump, particularly compared to older voters. About 60% of voters ages 18 to 29 said that they were supporters of the Republican Party compared to voters age 65 years and older at 56%. And among respondents who said that they voted for Trump, 55% said they identify more as a supporter of the Republican Party than the president. Mike Noble from Noble Predictive Insights said that President Donald Trump's foreign policy, such as the conflict in Iran, leading to higher energy costs, and that's been a self-inflicted wound that's reflected in the data. About 53% of voters who support Marco Rubio closely identified as supporters of the Republican Party as well. Additionally, 67% of hypothetical Ron DeSantis voters said that they more closely identify as supporters of the Republican Party. Be sure to get the latest Voters' Voice poll data at thecentersquare.com.